Hey everyone, before we get into the details of our sponsors, just a few quick notes. Remember to check the website to see if there have been any hour changes or any instructions on how to pre-order. Remember to be patient and to wash your hands and practice social distancing. So a few words from our sponsors. The team at Pure Life Wellness is working overtime to ensure that they're able to remain open and continue to serve the community. We can help by ordering ahead online, signing up for CanPay and using their new debit system, and keeping your distance when you arrive to the store. If you have any questions, you can go to their website at purelifebaltimore.com. Thank you, Pure Life. The Cannabis Science Conference has moved to June 29th through July 1st. You can visit cannabisscienceconference.com to purchase tickets. Use the code MJ25 to get 25% off of your tickets. Come geek out with me at the end of June. We're all going to need it. See you then. As a result of COVID-19, Peake ReLeaf asks that if you need to obtain medicine, order online or call at 301-703-2400 to place an order ahead of time. All orders must be placed using our online ordering service on their website or by calling. Additionally, please allow 1 hour to process the order after placing it prior to come picking it up. While we do anticipate longer than usual wait times, we encourage patients to wait in their vehicles or to take advantage of curbside delivery. While visiting inside the facility, all patients are required to maintain social distancing from all other patients and from staff members. We have indicated areas on the floor showing where to stand and have separated seating in our reception area accordingly. We ask all patients to abide by these new protocols so that they can continue to safely service all patients in the community. As always, the health and safety of our patient community is of their extreme importance. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email them at info@peakreleaf.com or call them at 301-703-2400. Thank you, Peake ReLeaf. Now is the time to pre-order using the Herbology website. This allows the team to fulfill your order quickly and with minimum contact. Herbology's #1 priority is always the safety of you and their team. You can call both of their stores, first the Westminster one at 443-487-4552, or the Gaithersburg store at 240-654-0911 for more information. And you can visit My Herbology for additional details. Thank you, Herbology. Evermore is working hard to ensure that each transaction is safe for both the customer and employee. To help facilitate this, they're asking that you order online and use CanPay. The team is working so that we can have our essential medicine. And for more questions to be answered, you can visit evermorecompany.com. Thank you, Evermore. Southern Maryland Relief is committed to the safety of our patients and staff during the COVID-19 pandemic. Temporarily, they've changed their hours Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. When entering the store, please have your ID ready. Make sure that your hands are sanitized. You'll be asked to wear gloves. While you're in the store, practice safe social distancing. There's red tape on the ground so you can be aware of where you are at all times. And additionally, only 8 customers will be allowed on the floor and in the store at one time. You can order online by visiting somdrelief.com to limit your exposure and to keep yourself, the staff, and other patients safe. And due to the high demand on calls, reception will not be able to assist you with picking out your order. Once you arrive to the store, please call to inform us when you're ready for your curbside pickup. Thank you for your continued support and patience, especially to spread kindness during these very challenging times. Thank you, Southern Maryland Relief, for your support. I met James in the spring of 2019, and despite being in the best health of my life, I still felt sick, anxious, and depressed. Over the course of the last year, we have worked week by week discovering what food and meditation practices work best for my body. Each of these have prepared my body and mind holistically for what's best for it and for my daily challenges. My work with James has been transformational and has provided me with the strength, courage, and equanimity to live the life that I want to, especially during such crazy times right now. So if you suffer from chronic pain or illness, if you feel like you've tried everything and you haven't found relief, maybe James is for you. And you can reach out to him at james@sparkvisionnow.com. Thank you again to all our sponsors. Hey, everyone. I hope you are having a great week, week 3, I don't know, whatever day we're on. Just a little intro before we get to an interview and, quite frankly, the highlight of my week, speaking to Olga. She has some great tips for us on how to make our medicine stretch. I actually continue to learn about my body's consumption of cannabis, and you can hear a very extensive conversation of RSO and blunts. But how's everyone doing? Just a quick check-in. I feel like we're still on this like roller coaster up and down, and I could say the same things that I said last week, where some moments are great and some are not so great. But this week I've been especially practicing bringing some joy and fun in my life. So having just a few extra minutes, what's something that I can do that I haven't done in a while? And as silly as this is, I found this adult coloring book that I may have bought, if I think far back enough, maybe when I first started to have panic attacks, because someone said, oh, if you color, it will help. And I didn't find much relief in coloring during a panic attack. However, I've had this great book there, and this week I've been coloring and feeling like a little kid as I've done it, but it's actually been quite great to do something so simple and stop thinking about a lot of the things that plague my mind throughout the day. So really short message from me today. I hope everyone's being very kind to one another, especially to yourselves. Hope everyone is looking for the good in this and what greatness can come out of this. I know that, there's a lot of articles being written about what's happening to us, and I just read this recent one about kind of we're all going through stages of grief. And if you look at those, you can probably find some similarities of how you feel, hour by hour, day by day, minute by minute. And I've recognized those stages of grief now that I've allowed to call this something, even to being like pissed off sometimes. And that's the emotion that I get most excited about, anger and rage, because those are the emotions of change. And I can feel it. A big change is coming because enough people are going to see that we need that change. And so I'm grateful for those feelings this week. And I'm grateful for all of you listening, especially when there's so many other things to listen to. I hope you enjoy this very candid chat with Olga, one of my most favorite people in the world. And she is still out there working extremely hard during this pandemic to make sure a very underserved community gets the medicine that it needs to be healthy. And I appreciate all the work that she does, not just in the cannabis community, but out there with the homeless population. Thank you, Olga. And now on to the show. Yeah, so I'm excited to have you back for a few reasons. One, because obviously we're in the middle of this pandemic that is got everyone crazy and twisted around. And then also just, I think, for pure information on cannabis as it relates to kind of right now and what's happening, and consumption methods that are better than others. And I know these are the things people don't want to hear, and how we can really make our medicine last. Because even I'm finding, like, I bought 3 weeks worth of cannabis for the second time this week. So not lasting through it.
It's getting difficult. It is.
It is. So before we start, how are you doing?
How am I doing it?
How are you? Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
And then how are you doing it? Because you're still out there. Tell everyone what you're doing while everyone's sitting home comfy and cozy.
Oh my God.
And stressed,
I am
at home.
What am I doing? Working.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep this clinic running, trying to make sure these patients still get their medications. They're twice as hilarious now with the virus and everything. Everybody's even more wacky, so the patients are really cute. That's at least helpful.
Yeah.
The first thing I did when I heard that we were going to be getting lockdown order was go to all these dispensaries, every dispensary that I knew I could drive to within like an hour, and signed up for the text messages.
Smart.
So that I know I'm getting 1 million text messages a day, but I get deals, all the deals.
So I, like 9 months ago, went and unsubscribed from all those because I still to this day have like 200 unread messages from specials. But that's actually the smartest thing, because my brother called me today and he's like, yo, who has the deal on, he wanted some like top shelf flour. And I was like, I don't get a text. So that was smart. And you could probably do it online, right?
Yeah. You can just go to the dispensary websites, and then they send you a confirmation as soon as you sign up. So,
sweet. That was the first thing you did?
Yes. And then I monitor for sales. Shake sales. That's the other thing. There's been a couple of good, like Kip just had a bomb shake sale. They had quarters. If you bought 2 or more quarters, they were $26 a piece.
Wow.
For quarters.
Oh, wait, it was a quarter for 26?
Yes. For 7 grams. And then when me and Timmy got into it, it was a ton of small buds in there with the shake.
Yeah.
So that was so well worth the money, so well worth the drive. We bought like 3 ounces.
Nice.
My only regret is that I didn't have more balance to buy more ounces, because at 27 or $26 a piece, that was.
Yeah.
And then from that, I'm going to make everything.
Yeah. So what are you making to help extend this through whatever?
Everything. I'm making all my own edibles. I'm making all my own microdose gummies. I'm making my own tinctures. I'm making my own topicals. Everything in the house. So from that I got 2 ounces. So $200, I'll be able to make at least a kick-ass topical. I'll be able to make 2 different tinctures, one with the one strain, one with the other strain. And then the rest of it will probably bake into a bunch of edibles.
Wow. That's actually like a lot of product.
Yes. And it works out so beautifully.
Yeah. How many, I'm trying to think of like a quantitative measurement to say, like, from that 2 ounces, like if you, how long will that last you? So like tell everyone kind of like your dosing that you do. And so people can kind of understand, like, if they were to do that, how long that may last them. Okay.
So I like to put my ratio about an ounce of shake or whatever to 1 cup of, 2 cups, half ounce to a cup. So 1 cup of butter or, coconut oil to a half ounce of shake. And that makes a nice potent can of butter. I love can of butter and can of oil. I like to make a cup of can of butter and a cup of can of oil, because then you can just take a spoonful and add it to whatever you want. Yeah. Then you're microdosing that all day. You don't have to worry about, you can dose it if you like. There is a way to get online. They have a ton of dosage calculators that can, tell you how much each piece of your thing is going to be. I'm not that worried about exact calculations with these home meds. So I'll just make, a cupful or 2 cups of can of oil or a cup or 2 cups of can of butter, and then just add that to whatever I like.
That's awesome.
The coconut oil is great, or cocoa butter. I also like to infuse a cup of cocoa butter because I can make suppositories, and that doesn't even take up half of the cup right there. And then the rest of it, add about a teaspoon of lecithin oil to it, and that makes an amazing topical.
Wow. That is impressive that you get all of that out of there. And then how long do you think all that would last you?
I will get a solid month out of this. At a 2 ounce, I'll get a good month. Now, of course, that's not anything to smoke there. That's just
we know.
my edibles and my topicals. But just for all that stuff, because the edibles really stretch out my flower.
Yeah.
If you can, especially if you're a person that has a high tolerance finding the flower and making your own edibles is going to get you a lot further, because the edibles that you're buying at the store are a grand waste of money. I can't even stress that enough.
Yeah, they're not real high dose, like,
at all.
Yeah.
I'm seeing bottles of RSO capsules for 100 milligrams total in the bottle for $40. Like, what?
I just made a huge mistake and I purchased a 19-to-1, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
However, didn't look at what the dosing was. So there's 30 pills. It's 1 milligram each.
So it's
or
totally
like 1 milligram of, CBD and one
like 0.00 of THC.
I just spent a shit ton of money on this and could take the entire bottle and do nothing.
Still do nothing. Oh, so that's horrible.
Yeah, that was my fault. I don't deal with edibles much, and so I just didn't ask the right question. I was like, "Oh my god, that's perfect, 19-to-1."
And they'll sell you anything. They'll sell you any old thing.
Yeah, especially if you don't ask a question.
What kind of oil? We don't have any peanut oil. Just use the olive oil.
What is he making?
I don't.
Can I get it shipped up here?
I'm trying, right? Some kind of chicken and pasta. I'm really looking forward to this. Nobody cooks for me, so this is awesome.
Yeah, that is. I always get excited when someone cooks for me. I'm like a main cooker. I'm like, this is perfect. It doesn't matter what it is.
Colleen doesn't cook.
So she can make one dish. It's this tilapia black bean. First of all, I hate fish. Always have. So one day, a year after we started dating, she made it for me, and I choked it down, and that was it.
That was love right there. That was love.
It was so perfectly cooked, and you could tell this was the one thing she practiced ever cooking.
She mastered that one dish.
It is. But I will tell you, she does two things really well. She, I love having fruit at night for dessert, and so she cuts all the fruit really pretty and puts it on a perfect it is, and she just walks in so proud, ta-da!
See,
so that is.
I accept that as a dish.
I can take that's because a lot of love goes into that one dish where
that's a dish.
I'm just throwing shit in pans, me. I'm like, here we go. Here's dinner. Let's talk about. I just want to ask you a question about edibles. Why can't I feel anything? So I'm going to explain what I'm going through right now. And then I'm sure this will bounce off a lot of different topics. So aware that COVID-19 is a lung and a pneumonia virus. Mm-hmm. And, people, once they get to know me, they finally ask me how much cannabis do I consume or how many blunts a day I smoke. And so I smoke a lot. And so 8 blunts a day. And so knowing that, I immediately was like, I can't do this. I should not be smoking that many blunts a day. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with that, but in my heart, I just felt these two things made perfect sense to me. I don't know. So I think I talked about in the last few podcasts. One day I was I'm not smoking another blunt again until this is over. That lasted 24 hours. I was so miserable, and I was eating edibles and RSO it was going out of style and didn't feel
why?
My anxiety.
You took your tobacco out of there.
But it's a wrap. I don't smoke a tobacco leaf. Do you think there's some still in there?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
I mean, unless it says tobacco free.
Yeah.
There's tobacco in there.
In the paper.
Oh, it's a paper. You're not using blunt wraps at all.
No.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering why, I don't feel like others when they take an edible. Right? It's such a weird, I took on that Friday 2 of the higher dose discos. I had G6 RSO, green crack RSO, and gelato RSO on top of a calm 1-to-1 CBD like pill.
Okay, so you just don't process edibles well.
Yeah.
You just want people. Okay.
So do I just have to increase it more, or what do you?
There's nothing you can do.
It's like
pain medicine too, right? Like you process pain medicine really.
That is true. Yeah, I have a really hard time. Yeah, I've had several occasions where nothing, it all hits me at once. Then I'm like, it's just kind of all kind of crazy. Yeah, so there's like really nothing to do there.
Right. Your liver enzymes just don't like to process THC. They just process it really quick. So it goes out of your system before you really get to enjoy it. Actually,
is that why when I put RSO on, in 2 seconds, my eyes are glossy, and in 2 minutes, there's nothing?
Yes, that's it.
My eyes don't even get glossy with a blunt. But,
quick.
So it's like damn, why am I so chubby then? Why don't I process food this fast?
You're not so chubby. Let's start
before, but you know what I'm saying. That's not fair.
Because the way that those specific liver enzymes are for medications and weed, and that's it. So you have like 90% of your medications and your cannabis getting processed through there.
Yeah.
So you're just one of those unlucky folk. Me and Timmy are super, super slow processors. So like I can give Timmy a 50 milligram edible and he'll wake up high tomorrow. because it just stays in his system forever and ever and ever.
Wow. Nothing.
But it's the same with pain medications too. Mm-hmm. Like if I give him a Vicodin, he's going to get like 6 hours of relief out of it. I'm like, who the hell gets 6 hours of relief out of a Vicodin?
Yeah. Not this bee.
No, not me. I get like an hour and a half. So
yeah. Oh, well, that makes me feel a little, I know we've talked about it before, but I kind of thought it was like, there was like, I don't get a headache. Like when I got off of coffee, like I was drinking so many lattes a day.
You gave up coffee? Wow.
Oh yeah. I went decaf when I became diabetic because I found out that caffeine, I think my heart was racing and it was causing my like blood sugar to spike. And so and the more I found like my blood sugar would be high, even though I just drink black, was no sugar in it or nothing.
My mom had to give up her coffee too when she was diagnosed. I never did correlate.
I think my blood sugar goes up when I'm anxious, or I'm anxious because my blood sugar's up, but one of those two kind of like makes it. And so that I remember giving up sugar, severe headaches. Like, I mean, you know, that's when you know you're kind of, I think, like addicted to something.
Oh, yeah.
But I was shocked by, so everyone's kind of told me with edibles what to do is like, don't combust cannabis for a few days so that your system gets down from that like tolerance, whether this is true or not, and then try it. So, that's what I thought was wrong this whole time. Well, I don't feel any kind of edible because I'm consuming so much through a blunt, and I was like, this is not the case.
When you smoke it, it gets processed through the lungs into the bloodstream.
Yeah. So what's your
processed through the liver into the bloodstream? So
am I still getting benefits from eating it? Yeah.
And even if you're not feeling the high from it, you should still be getting the pain relief. You should still be getting some of the anxiety relief because you're still getting that terpene benefit and that terpene coverage.
Yeah.
You're just not getting that specific THC ping because the THC is metabolizing so quickly.
So everything else stays in though? Everything
else is still in your bloodstream.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better. Okay.
Still metabolizing through your bloodstream, still having the same action in your bloodstream that it normally would. It's just getting metabolized fast.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're not feeling the high because the high is come and going. But the rest of the benefits that you normally would get, you should still get.
Okay. So what do you think about smoking right now?
I look like such a hypocrite telling people not to smoke.
It's okay. I've been telling people like every day, I'm like, I'm quitting today, and then I have 2, and then I'm going to quit tomorrow, and then I have a quarter, and it's just all over the place.
I'm like still with the blunts too, like worse than ever. So, but yeah, I mean, of course, we should cut down smoking because smoking absolutely increases a risk of, it weakens the lungs and increases the risk of catching any virus, any respiratory virus. But
me and do you know Boo Lunt from Spark? Have you met her before?
Oh, yeah.
So we've been talking about this because she's of the same opinion. She's like, her ex-husband's an epidemiologist. Is that the right word?
Yes, it is.
So she's getting information that is allowing her to. And she like texted me today, and it was like so funny. She's like, I broke down. I had a joint, and then I was mad at myself. And then I was like, okay, we got to figure this out, because while I believe that me smoking 8 blunts right now is probably not great, I also believe my mental health is probably key to overall health at the same time. And so that's where we've landed on. I'm now just smoking 2 to 3 a day.
You cut back, but you're already immune compromised anyway.
Yeah.
Realistically, your risk is probably the same if you smoke 4 blunts or if you smoke 0 blunts.
Oh,
with your diabetes and all.
That is true.
That's your highest risk anyway. The blunt thing is just like minimal compared to that.
Well, let me just keep focusing on that.
So
I have, and we mentioned it before, like I have been extra perfect about eating now, like trying to make sure, like, because I do know, man, that fluctuating blood sugar can just allow you to become susceptible to like so many things. So I've tried really, really hard to do that. And I'm like actually excited that, we've been in quarantine for 3 weeks now. I've lost 2 pounds.
Okay.
So I've been able to Timmy.
He made chicken fried rice. Oh, okay.
With the sauce.
That looks amazing.
It's tangy. Very good, Timmy. Thank you. Boy, get out of here.
What I wanted was those peanut butter brownies he made.
Those turned out really good, but they got him. Every time he ate one, he would just die because they had a lot of peanut butter in them. I think he put a little bit too much peanut butter in them. So he would eat one and just pass out.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, edibles are so wasted on you. All you do is fall asleep.
At least I love the taste of the way they taste. Like, I love food to have like a little like cannabis like hinge to it.
Me too.
Like, I love it so much.
Thank you. I don't even understand people like, I can taste the weed. I'm like, I can taste the weed.
Yeah, that's what I want. Like more and more of it. Yeah, well, that makes me feel better that that's my greater risk.
Yes.
Don't
worry about the weed.
Yeah, that does make, but I think it's more like a mental game for everybody. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking like how, because they're saying all kinds of crazy shit out there.
Oh my God. And then it changes from day to day. So I'm like, I'm just going to use my best judgment and keep living my life the way best I can. And that's it.
Yeah, I think that's probably, you have a lot of knowledge that you can like lean back on to like verify some of these like dipshitted things that are kind of happening out
some
there.
Of it, yeah, some of it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of crazy information going around where some of it you're just like, okay, use your common sense,
Yeah. What about, I saw you posted about mask.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is a hot topic on all things. And I think like everything. Yeah. So what did you say about that?
That was just my.
Oh, I know. But I believe it too.
I think the CDC, nurses as a whole, I've never seen the nursing community all come together about anything. And everybody, the nursing community is in solidarity about this. Even the American Nurses Association is putting out guidance saying the CDC's just lost their mind. They're just crazy.
Yeah. Because it's the moisture, right? Like,
yeah.
So on Sunday, the surgical mask that I wear, which I'm even when I read, that's not like great. However, it has like this plastic kind of thing. And so the outside of the mask isn't wet. The homemade ones, I'm outside for 2 seconds and the entire cloth is drenched.
And then all you're doing is, so if you walk past with somebody with some kind of virus, you're actually drawing in more bacteria than if you just wore nothing.
Yeah.
With that wet thing on your face. It's like a germ catcher. So
yeah. So there's not even like I just kind of thought that too. Like
it's so crazy. And they guidance, and I keep seeing people sending that. And I'm like, that's nice, but they're good for covers. If you already have an N95 mask, you can put it on as a cover. That's great. But other than that, just wearing the plain cloth masks, I pass.
And do you think any of the ones that are being made with like filters in it, like they're using HEPA filters from the like AC units, like people are doing all kinds of crazy shit. I personally believe that a lot of this is placebo action. And I honestly think that's what that's why the CDC put the guidance out there. I think that they were thinking it would make people feel better. So, go ahead and put something over your face if that makes you feel better. Because that's kind of the way it's been said too. Like,
it's not doing anything. At first, back in like January and February, they were telling us not to wear masks. Nobody needs to wear a mask. Masks are ridiculous. They're not going to do any good anyway. It's droplet. It's airborne. The mask isn't going to help. So for them to have changed their guidance so dramatically over 6 weeks' time, I'm just like, this is.
I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I knew this was something different, but I didn't know they gone from this to that.
Yeah, they went from don't worry about the masks to everybody should be wearing masks, and we're like, I think you're just telling people this to make them feel better, so that's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Dr. Fauci, he said he's not wearing a mask, and I listened to what he says. Is what I've decided.
Yes, I trust him. I do trust him. I like him. I trust him. I'm thankful that he's there, and that because he seems to be the only person of reason in the administration at all.
Even the other doctor doesn't seem to like. What's her name? I don't know if they're all yes people, but anyway.
Right, and that's where we're at. So I was thankful that we have, especially as a Republican, we actually had a governor that cared, because Florida's governor was, oh no, I have to kiss Mr. Trump's butt. So you're going to let people in your state die to kiss the president's ass. Where our governor was like, nah, we're shutting everything down now. So
I loved all the memes about him and Andrew Cuomo being like two America's governors dad. Running for America's dad.
And they're winning. That's good. Like I never thought I'd be able to, but his leadership has been on point. So
I've appreciated it. Like I thought, like communication's been good. Like the right things happened. Yeah, it is such a like weird moment in time, and
oh my God, it's so every day I wake up, it feels like I'm in I don't want to say a nightmare, but
it
does feel like a dream, like just a really weird, off-putting dream.
Do you find yourself kind of, and I caught myself doing this, like grieving about future things? Like, I don't know who's going to die from this, but I'm already like sad about it.
I haven't gotten that far. I feel like I'm in panic. I wake up every day in panic mode about just dumb things like, okay, what are we going to do in the clinic today? How are we going to get enough money? I don't want to my big stressor this week is they just keep threatening to lay off people. And I don't want anybody to get laid off right now. Cause from this company, Volunteers of America, Chesapeake is the name of the company. And they call themselves a church so that they don't have to pay into unemployment. So if we lay somebody off, they can't collect. And I don't want, that's like my major stressor right now.
They should be able to though now, right?
I hope so.
I actually think, I mean, we can look at that afterwards, but I can't imagine that they would be denied unemployment, because even they did gig, like the gig economy, they figured out unemployment for that.
Okay, maybe because that would at least make me feel
I could be wrong, but that would be so weird that a nonprofit wouldn't be able to benefit from that.
They said because they're specifically a church without walls. They call themselves a church.
Maybe that could be it.
Which I believe is a scam as well, but that's a different topic for a different day.
Anytime a new church pops up, I'm like,
right. What are you up to? What are you doing
there?
You scamming.
So you're waking up and just overwhelmed with just everything. That's kind of like, you don't even really have a time to process.
Right. I'm just trying to get through each day. Make it through.
Understandably.
Just hoping that we can get to this emergency or that emergency. And then it's always something with the patient that, we're trying to figure out a way to help these patients out without having to put the community support workers in danger. And I swear that's like my whole focus. Just focus.
I mean, so I wonder if you have a very similar feeling that I have every Sunday, but yours is just every day. I am so happy that I'm able to go feed the homeless. And I've never been so scared at the same time.
Yes.
Like literally, I've had, and even starting when Simple Sacrifice, I've had, people in my face ready to put, that doesn't scare me. My mom had knives pulled out, that doesn't scare me. This, and they can tell I'm scared shitless. Like, they're like, you look so stressed. I'm like,
it's terrifying.
Like, I'm worried about you guys. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about who I'm bringing this shit home to. Like,
I'm so worried about you. Every time I see you out there, I'm like, I love you, but I'm so worried about you.
But I just wonder, like, do you feel that same thing? Like, you're going to do it, but you are scared shitless.
Every day. Terrified. The worst is when a patient, because we're like, okay, it's appointment only now. You can only come if you've called and let us know that you're coming so that we can screen you before you get here and make sure you're not all the way sick. And they still show up. Yeah. So it's a matter of, okay, do you open the door for somebody that doesn't have an appointment? Because, my injection is 2 weeks overdue. So what are you supposed to do? It's stressful. What are you going to do? We just kind of slap a mask on them and let them in, because I don't feel comfortable not letting people have, if you're here and I have your injection, I'm going to give it to you. It's just all those little stressors all day long. And I lived through the first COVID that nobody remembers because we had a halfway decent president at the time.
Mm-hmm. Which one was that?
2002, 2003. I had just gotten out of nursing school, and we had SARS. It was the first outbreak of SARS in this country. And we had patients come through. We had a couple of patients die. And it was a lot like it looks like now, though. At the time, the ICUs were really packed. It was nightmare. It was horrible. They had hospice nurses coming in to give counseling to us because it was so traumatic dealing with these patients.
Man, I don't remember SARS being that bad. Like, I have zero recollection of how bad that was.
The news, it was, if you look at the numbers now, you'd look back and be like, that many people died? But it was wild in the hospitals. It was crazy. And it wasn't even the ones that died that was bad. It was the ones that lived. Because that sepsis that comes along with the pneumonia, that's otherworldly shit. The one girl was 19. She ended up losing both legs, all the fingers on one hand and another hand, and she stroked. And we didn't know any of this because she was on the ventilator for so long and sedated. But while she was in the ventilator, when they go into sepsis, the liver function shuts down, so they start to throw clots and simultaneously bleed. So they'll be bleeding out of their tear ducts and their ears and things and fingertips but at the same time also be throwing erroneous clots all over the body. So the major blood vessels in her legs blocked off, and a major blood vessel in her brain blocked off, and she stroked. So yeah, she lived through SARS. She's never gonna be the same.
No.
So we had a lot of patients like that, a lot of lung damage, a lot of scar tissue left in the lungs after it was over. It was a mess.
Was that one a lung virus as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I need to look back on this. Like that is,
it was horrible.
And it wasn't I was young either. I was in my 20s. So
yeah,
that just goes to show you
20s, so yeah.
how self-centered you are in your 20s. There's all of that. And I have no recollection.
Nah, if you weren't working it was one of the, like I said, we had like pandemic teams at the time, and the White House was functioning. Whoever was, I don't remember who was president at the time, but
Bush, right? I think, or maybe Obama just came in or something.
So
I don't even know anymore.
I know, right? It all bleeds together. But they had, they were on top of it. And they knew that it was coming in from other countries. And when it started with the community spread here, they really isolated it. They sent a lot of the patients to Hopkins, so they weren't even being treated at their community hospitals.
Oh.
So they really had. It wasn't nearly as widespread as this.
Was it more? Is it less contagious? Like this appears to be.
This one, it does seem to be, because they definitely contained it faster, and there was a lot less cases at this point in the. But again, it's hard to say because this administration has made such a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I saw today that you can. I can't even say the name of the pills, but the Z-Pack and whatever one that they're just saying like try it. So they're sending all of these. Like
he must have a vested financial interest in that drug, because doctors and all these, there's quite a few medical COVID groups that I'm in on Facebook, and it's about 30% response to that drug.
Yeah.
So for him to be touting it like it's the next big thing is really, really wild. I say he must have a financial interest in it.
Yeah. And you don't really know how that will respond to us, right? Like I know how Z-Pack responds because I've had one of those before, but I imagine like maybe not everybody, it creates a good situation for their bodies while they're already like down.
That hydroquinone, it's absolutely poisonous. So if somebody that didn't need it was to start taking doses that they weren't properly dosed for their body weight by a doctor, they could get poisoned and die within maybe 2-3 days.
Whoa. Because it's malaria, right? It's supposed to kill malaria.
It's an anti-malarial drug. Yeah. So it's potent. It's full of poisons,
Yeah.
So.
That is, I have been thinking long and hard, like, I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any means.
Right.
However, I have a hard time thinking that I would want any vaccine in me that has just been thrown together. And do you know what I mean? This is kind of a scary situation.
It has been thrown together by the Trump administration.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about that. Like I think people should be able to live the lives that they want to live. As long as what your decision doesn't kill me, then that's fine. Like chickenpox comes around, you need to vaccinate your kid. I don't know, but this seems really weird to me. Like this seems like
this is the craziest thing. Just the whole response has just been crazy though. So I guess why would we expect anything from
would you get it now? Do you think?
No. Yeah. I would not. I have no faith. Watching the way that all of this is rolled out, I would not trust anything. Even the tests. So the first batch of tests that we were supposed to get, there was a company. The WHO had a test back in January. They had a test for COVID that was ready to go. They were using it in China and other countries, and it was working fine.
Yeah.
The United States said, we don't need your test. We'll create our own test. And Jared Kushner and his brother had this company so that's who
created the test?
The tests that then didn't work.
Oh, well,
so their company got millions and millions of dollars in February to develop a test, and the test went out, but that test was given all kinds of false negatives. So they had to scratch that test. So I don't trust anything that they do.
Yeah.
And I won't trust anything that they do because it's all just to make them money.
They'll kill us all. Should we listen to? So I think that's like been one of the bigger challenges for me and why I think I'm so like drenched in anxiety is because I have to look at multiple sources. You have to do a lot of things. You have to dig through. And so instead of just what may be better, keeping my head in the sand, I'm like trying to find truth. And who are you supposed to like, if the CDC has been changing their guidelines and it's really not what is accurate, like what are we supposed to do as humans? Like who do we listen to?
World Health Organization.
Okay.
Their guidance has been above board this whole time. That's who most nurses are quoting and going by their guidelines right now is the World Health Organization, which makes sense because they're operating in every country, not just this one. So, and they have like a more broad viewpoint of this thing. Mm-hmm. So I actually trust them, you know, anyway, but their information is more comprehensive and makes a lot more sense than what the CDC is putting out.
Okay, so we just look at the WHO.
Yes.
Okay, that works. Stop watching the news so much.
Right.
Although I have one of my 2 blunts a day while listening to Governor Cuomo's update of New York.
Good for you. I'm so impressed that you're down to 2 blunts.
I'm
impressed
with myself too. Like, very impressed. In fact, I like, you know, normally would buy, you know, if you do 8 blunts a day, that's probably like a quarter, if not more, depending on like how good the flower is.
Yeah.
I bought a half an ounce and still just have it. I mean, Colleen's like over the moon because of, you know, not a lot of money being spent on it. But it's worked. Like, I think I would be, you know, by midday, I can tell I just am a little more anxious than I probably would be. And so that's why I kind of picked to do the first one in the afternoon and then in the evening time.
Have you tried sublinguals?
Yeah, I've tried everything.
I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Sure. I like dabs go through me so quick. Like, you know, I look so stoned. It's probably the stoniest I look is after a dab. And you would think that I would just not. And then 2 minutes later, I'm smoking a blunt because I'm like, damn it.
Wow. So flour really is just the only thing that works.
I mean, and I can vaporize it with a PAX, which, you know, I've done. Mm-hmm. That still feels the same. I can do a bong or a bowl, a blunt, a joint, but like it has to be catching on fire, I think, for me.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe it's all psychological, and at the end of this, I'll have a different story to tell you.
I don't know, but I'm going to send you a suppository, so try. See if that works for you.
Yeah, I think that is the one thing that probably will work.
We'll give that a try.
Different ends.
Yes. Those work great. Good absorption.
Yeah. What else is new with you? Like, I guess you've kind of put the cannabis that's kind of on the side right now, right? You're kind of fully focused on.
Absolutely had to take a kind of a step back in that, just because I couldn't drop my class this semester. So I'm like completely overwhelmed right now with trying to get this clinic.
They didn't let you drop it?
It's my own fault. I didn't figure that. I didn't anticipate things getting this hectic, I think, even though I did, but I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking clearly, and I waited too long. So now I just have to finish it up.
I'm surprised that there's not like a COVID.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely, they gave us up to like 4 weeks to drop the class. I just drug my feet. And now at week 6, I'm like, I should have dropped the class. That's okay. We'll finish it up, and then I'll take a little a semester break.
You're getting your
NP. I'm working on my NP very slowly on my nurse practitioner.
I knew there was 2 letters together, and I was going to get them wrong. I was like, "What are those 2?" That's awesome that you're doing that.
I want to prescribe. I want to be able to not so much cannabis. I mean, obviously cannabis as well, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is generally we have a major deficit with doctors that understand cannabis and how to prescribe it with other
Yep.
medications.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a niche area that I can slip into and help people with. Because I have doctors, I have patients. I have one patient, the doctor wouldn't work with her using CBD. The child had ADHD. That really blew me. That really, really blew me. And then the psychiatrist argued with me. So we found her a new psychiatrist. But the psychiatrist was adamant that we were going to get this child high if we gave them, Adderall and CBD. And I'm like, if you let us do this, you might actually be able to come down on the Adderall. And he didn't want to hear it. So I'm like, okay, that's a hole that needs to be filled, where you need to have somebody with this herbal medicine and the traditional medicine kind of meet in the middle there.
I agree with that. I thought and it's probably after meeting you, I was like, I'm going to go back to school. Because I feel like there needs to be that. And then I realized how much school that was. And I'm like, but there needs to be people like you that understand both sides of it with extreme empathy too. I think that's why like my dad just connected with you so much, is because you do understand. And I think it's because of your past. Like, exactly what that person is going through. Maybe not with the same story, but you understand where they are in their life. And that just speaks volumes. Any doctor, nurse, anybody who I've ever connected with, it's because of that one thing. Like there's this extra part.
You can't force what you want on the patient. Especially working with psych patients, I've really learned that. You can set goals for the patient, but the patient's only going to achieve what they prioritize. So, if I'm worried about your blood pressure, but you're homeless, you don't care about your blood pressure. And we have to, we got to target and focus on the things that actually matter. These doctors, they think they know everything, but if you're not willing to work with the patient, you're just not going to get anywhere. Yeah.
I mean, nurses know, like anybody who's ever been in the hospital, I don't wait around for the doctor. I find the nurse and listen to them, because they understand I think just on a different level, what's happening. They explain it so much better. There's nurses to me, I don't even know what to say. Like some of the best people that helped my mom were always nurses. Like, the things that they above and beyond. And even in this circumstance, like I cannot believe, I think there are two things in this world that marketing has got wrong. Number one, that should have never been save the planet. It should be save the humans. The planet's going to be here. We're the ones going extinct. Number two, nurses, doctors, they are not our front line right now. They are our last resort. They're our last hope. They're our last defense. And so, man, if you treat them like they're the front line and you're not protecting them, when we get through that, there's nobody left from that. And I just think like every day that you or anybody else that wakes up and says, I'm going to go to work today and not knowing what's going to happen, who you're going to run into, what moment, that is like truly heroic to me. And, and just being there for people.
Thank you.
Yeah. And especially the community you work with. I mean, we love homeless individuals so much. And so they need someone who cares for them like you do.
It's so easy to look at any one of those patients and just be like, but for the flip of a coin, you know what I mean? Like, we've all been through trauma. I know, I know I have, I know you have. At any point, any one of us could have put a needle in our arm and said, forget it, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Or just given up, or just let the mental illness, run free, and anybody, that could happen to anybody. So every time I take care of a patient, I think of that. This could be me.
Yeah.
I'm one good anxiety attack away from this.
We're about to find out how true that statement is right now in this situation. How many people after 2 weeks of no paycheck are already like, we're living in a house of, like, people don't even understand. Like, people's mental health is so frail right now, not because we're weak, but because we are probably the first generations that have ever felt bad for their feelings. And so I'm sitting here stressed the fuck out. I'm so sad because I'm, an extrovert and I see one human and I don't get any energy. And instead of being allowed to feel that way, I then beat myself up going, what do you have to worry about? Like, you shouldn't feel that way. Don't. And so
and I hate that.
All over the place.
That. You get to feel sorry for yourself, even if you're living in lap of luxury. This is hell. This is a hellscape. You get to feel sorry for yourself no matter what. Yeah. Period. That's it. This thing is a mess. So I hate it. I was so sick of seeing that meme. If you didn't start your new hobby through this, it means that you lack dedication, not the time. Leave people alone.
I fucking can barely breathe in the morning. I have, like I said last week, nothing of these big goals that I set has gotten done. In fact, if I'm being honest, today I had to force myself to do this because I just was kind of like, I feel just not right doing anything.
And that's okay. That is perfectly fine. I mean, even Timmy he spent probably the first 2 weeks just binge watching COVID information. I'm like, please stop watching the news. Please stop. But that's all he could do. He was just like crippled watching, and that's it. He would move. And then when he would finally shut off the TV, he's scrolling through stuff on his phone. Please put it down. It's the information, it'll paralyze you. It's horrible. Yeah. And then every time you think you got through one milestone, something new comes on the news to cripple you with fear again. So
it's the constant breaking news. And now in breaking news, I'm like, this is the way it's going to be for a little bit. And I've put some time limits. Like I watch that one update and I allow myself like an hour at night just to kind of like catch up. But even then I noticed, and even today, I was like, I'm way too anxious after I watch this. Like I need to maybe not do this so much.
Right. That part. I get very anxious after, it's a lot. And I do the updates for the office as well. So there's always a point where I have to go in and check out the updated information, but I don't have to be looking at death tolls every night. And I've gotten really used to checking the numbers for Maryland, DC, and Virginia every night. Like, so then I'm like, I'm having nightmares. Well, maybe I should stop checking the death tolls in the evening. That would probably help.
What we put in our heads before we go to bed is literally, I think, what we're dealing with as we're like sleeping.
Oh yeah, it's my dreams have been wild, and adding to the anxiety because I wake up thinking I'm dreaming about, oh my God, me or Timmy coming down with coronavirus, or one of my patients coming in and spreading it around the office, just all these horrible dreams. And then you wake up and then you're on edge all day, and then you go to bed and then you have more nightmares, and there's no end. There's no escape from the stress.
If you found out you were positive, how would you take care of yourself? Like, let's just say you were one of those 80% that was just going to get better on your own. But during that time, like, do you have any thoughts, like what people should do?
I have the best, let me see if I can find this. I have the best, the American Cannabis Nurses Association sent out some really great guidance for us.
Okay.
Regarding some, like homeopathic type of things that we could do through this to stay healthy and to,
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find some of this. So they also advised us against making any statements regarding cannabis being helpful for coronavirus.
I've seen a few things online. People are like, nobody smoking cannabis has it. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Right. Yeah. There's no proven, there's not even really any anecdotal evidence regarding cannabis and coronavirus. And there are terpenes with antiviral. None of that is going to cover coronavirus. None of that. This thing is beyond what an herbal remedy can really manage. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yes, always like, this is not medical advice.
That's an absolutely a thing that we're trying to at least get people out there saying we're doing that. And that topicals should not replace antiseptic agents. Don't think that using
hand
right
sanitize. You can't put
Uh, a lot of those topicals, especially the ones with MCT oil in them, actually have bacterial properties. So just keep that in mind.
Oh.
Yeah. THC grows bacteria.
I did not know that.
But, oh my goodness, I can't find I thought I had this guidance up. But a lot of it, so one of the first really important things that we're telling everybody, healthy eating.
Yeah.
And even more healthy than what you normally would be doing. So, if you're a health food nut, great. But we're like kind of a simple diet plan. Lower your sugars.
Yeah.
Increase your proteins. More protein is always good, especially since you're sitting around more.
Yeah.
Protein is the building block of the body.
Yeah.
Take down the red meats and the inflammatory foods. Put a little bit more.
So alcohol's inflammatory.
Yes.
Red meats.
Yes.
Sugar.
Yes. Those are your main ones.
Main ones. So what everyone is eating right now.
So what's that?
What everyone is eating right now.
Right.
Like people are day drinking all day long and eating shitty like it's a snow day.
Yeah. And the alcohol, I mean, it's how do you quarantine without alcohol? I guess if you're a drinker, how do you quarantine without alcohol? But alcohol is probably the worst thing right now for everybody, being trapped in the house. And I call alcohol depression juice.
True.
That's why I limit my alcohol intake to like twice a month for that reason, because I have depression. Right? So I don't need to pour depression juice on it. So people do need to at least try to keep that in mind.
That's true though, Yeah.
And then use of herbs. There's some herbs that you can use. I think I put some guidance out there on my Instagram the other day. The omegas, getting your omega vitamins in, those you should be doing anyway, if you can. If you're at all able to go to the store, buy CoQ10 is another good one. Good for muscle strength and endurance. Your regular ones, ginseng and what's the other one? Echinacea. There you go.
Yeah.
Those are your cold ones anyway. You're using those when you have your flus and your seasonal allergies, so you stick with those. Lemongrass, thyme, and sage are also supposed to be build up the your system against viruses and colds and flus and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm a big one on herbs. I love using herbs and supplements, vitamin supplements. Absolutely supplement. Getting in. Basically, what we're really trying to say though is just take the best care of yourself as you possibly can. That's really,
now's the time to be healthy.
Optimal health.
Yeah.
So if you're going to push yourself to do something that you haven't done before through quarantine, that should be it.
Yeah.
Also hypocritical of me because I've totally given up on exercise, but you should be. I'm trying to get out there and get a walk now that the weather is so gorgeous every day. So, if you can do a little social distance walk, do a little social distance walk. Or stretch. Sometimes I just take 10 minutes and just do some stretch out however feels good to me.
That's so smart to do.
And it feels amazing. And you feel good after you're done. And, your muscles feel a little bit longer. And you just sitting on the floor and taking 5 minutes to yourself, close your eyes, do some deep breathing. Clears the brain. Concentrate on your breathing for 5 minutes. It really helps you focus inward instead of outward.
Yeah.
And I'm so focused on everything that helps me focus inward right now because outward is horrible.
So crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, lots of meditation. I've some of the things I read with if you did get it and you just were experiencing the extreme home case of it, not exerting yourself with exercise, but making sure you move around a little because you don't want anything to settle. So, and I don't know if that was the right explanation, but they said mild movement.
That's perfect. I feel like everybody, even if you have a cold or if you have a flu, you should know this, that it settles down in the lungs, and pneumonia sets in from laying around. So if you're already sick, you already got this thing, and you're just like you said, you're laying around, you are much, much, much more likely to develop pneumonia because those fluids are just pooling in your lungs, just laying there.
Yeah.
Get up, move around, and mobilize yourself. And deep breathing is another one. In the hospital, they give you, it's called an incentive spirometer. It's like this little plastic thing, and it has a tube attached to it.
A little ball.
And you're supposed to breathe into it, and it tells you how much air you're able to take into your lungs, how your lung capacity is. So the more you do it, the more lung capacity you'll have, which is a good thing. So
lots of belly breathing I've been doing, lots of have you ever done box breathing before? So lots of that, because it's a big breath in and you're holding your breath and then you're letting it out. Like it feels almost like an exercise of like breathing, and it is probably one of the most anxiety reducing breathing techniques, even more so than meditation, because I have to count. I'm unable to think of it. Even though I'm fake blonde, I'm truly blonde. I cannot breathe and count at the same time. So I can only do that one thought. And so my anxiety starts to dissipate because I'm only focused on the in and the hold and the out. And it feels so much better to do that with it. Also, read like warm drinks, warm soup, like kind of treat it like when you were sick when you were a kid, chicken noodle soup. Yes. Like lots of like ginger, spicy,
hot teas,
all that hot teas.
Hot tea and honey is always the that's the old remedy. Herbal tea, not the caffeine tea, the herbal tea with CBD honey. And now we don't know if it's going to open you up, but I like the herbal tea. The herbs always get down in there and kind of open up the chest a little bit. Yeah, a little mix rub and get your sinuses opened up. Of course, the coronavirus stuff is mostly dry, and the warm tea, you don't have that moisture, you don't have the mucus, but you have that dry cough that's like tearing your throat up. Yeah. So eating the warm things, like you said, really kind of helps soothe that pain in the throat as well. Yeah. And the chest.
It's scary out there.
Oh my gosh.
That's basically where I'm back to. It's scary out there.
At the very, very least. Yeah. So this kind of tells you that if this coronavirus jumped from animal to human, God only knows what we'll see in the future from other coronaviruses. Right. Very, very scared. It's a family. Coronavirus is a family of viruses. It's not just one. Like I said, we've seen this before.
And does corona, it's because it's from animal to human, is that what makes it a coronavirus, or was it the novel part?
The novel is because it's new. That's the novel part. That makes coronavirus sense. Was just what they happened to name it. I'm not sure why they. I should probably look that up to see why they came up with coronavirus. Yeah. And then the COVID-19 came from that. Corona virus. Disease.
They just didn't want to say it all the time.
Right. But it didn't come from a bat, like people are saying. It was not from eating raw bats in China, which I found to be incredibly hilarious because there's a lot of
Wait, how did it come then? Because obviously that's the only fucking thing I've heard.
That's what people are saying, but there's no evidence that was how it was spread.
Oh, it must have just been from that market, right?
They're saying they don't know. Oh. They said that was where the first cases came out of, but they don't know that's really how it started.
Oh, that is so interesting that's like definitive information that people give that it is from a bat. Right.
And I believed it for a while too. Until you read and you're like, okay, it did come from animal, but they're not even really sure. And it did most likely come from bats, but they're not sure that people eating bats in that market was actually what started this particular epidemic. Yeah. So that's not an absolute. And I said, Americans eat some crazy stuff too. So
yeah, people need to get you know what? I'm an animal lover, and I would appreciate not to see whatever. And having just made the change to vegan in the fall, Oh yeah. Did you not know I did that right before
No.
my shoulder surgery? You know, they told me I had a year recovery for like how bad the repair was going to be, because my whole scapula was like off. And so
God.
I did so much research because I was like, there's no way. Like in my head, a year recovery, I was going to gain all my weight back. Like I just had this in my head. And so I was like, I've got to figure out the best way to be healthy. And so I just did a lot of research on athletes who had had the same, like a similar shoulder surgery. And most of them recommended being vegan during healing, that they found like, and there's like some minor like studies that do it. But I mean, I was like, if it's going to shave off even 30 days that I can't swim, I'll try it. Olga, I can't believe how much better. I actually think it fixed. I mean, I was keto, and anytime I ate fruit, my blood sugar would spike to 200. I mean, I was literally just fat and protein and 20 grams of carbs. That's all I ever ate. When I switched over to vegan, I have to eat a cookie that has sugar and like something that would raise my blood sugar for it to go up. Like I eat so much fruit. My everything, my heartburn is gone. I just think, and I don't crave it anymore. Like I'm not sad about it. I'm not like, I don't miss it. I just feel significantly better than I did before.
There is evidence of how important your diet is to your state of well-being in general.
Yeah. I mean, keto worked. Everyone needs to do what's good for their body. And I think it's like cannabis. I think how I eat is not good for everybody else and vice versa. And so keto worked for 18 months for me to lose weight, reverse my diabetes. And then I could just feel, I was like, I'm just not feeling great. And then, man, and my world I am so much happier now that I can have fruit and all the vegetables I want again.
Yeah, I bet. You can eat like a normal human again. That's crazy. I would not have guessed that. That's wild that a vegan diet did that. So it's not vegetarian, it's vegan.
No, it's vegan. Like the last time I had a piece of cheese, I had so much mucus. And, I always have said, if I want something, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to do it. Like I'm not that type of person to not. Right. After I had that cheese, I'm like, I'll never have cheese again. It just completely congested me. Like I had so much snot. Yeah. I was like, so it's been cool to every now and again, if I introduce the food back in, I can feel the chemical reaction that's not like good for me.
That's amazing though. That's still amazing. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's been a great, a great change. Like Colleen, she eats vegan at home, and if she wants like stuff out, she'll get it. But yeah.
Okay, good for you.
Thanks.
That's some discipline, Jill. That's really good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Hard.
I mean, in the end, when you have a shoulder surgery and can't move, I really couldn't do anything. So it's easy to do it.
It's like, okay, I've run out of options.
Yeah, let me eat this. Well, I'm glad that you came on today.
Yeah,
I actually just like chatting with you.
I know.
Like it was good to see your face. I miss humans so much.
I can't wait to actually come and visit and have a sesh, sit and chat and laugh and pick.
Yeah, it'll be there. I think what are you most excited if we can think about, we're at the end of this, whenever the fuck that is.
I know, right?
If you think about that moment, what do you think you're going to be most excited about?
Oh my God. I don't even know, because nothing, I wanted to say things going back to normal, but nothing's going back to normal after this.
And I like that idea.
Normal. Yeah. This is our new normal.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a switch in how people are.
That's what so that would be the hope, but I honestly don't think people are going to change either. That's the problem. Like I would like to believe that the powers that be see the mess that is right now, that people are like, that the average American had $400 in savings, and that people can't pay their rent and they didn't do anything about it. They didn't put a freeze on bills or anything. So that leads me to believe that nothing is going to change.
how can we, but there's more of us than them. And I've said this a few times now. So I think, man, if we all got together.
Right. Then we could make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And that's, we have to. I don't know how to, I don't know how to bring everybody together. Everybody's extra polarized right now. Like, people are extra angry and extra nasty right now.
Yeah. You can't even wear fucking scrubs out. Oh
my God, to have read 5 or 6 different stories, and in these COVID nursing groups that I'm in, somebody actually recorded getting accosted at the grocery store. They were like, "We work at an ophthalmologist office," this woman came up to them at the store and like threw something at them and said that they were out there infecting people with their disease. And the world is really wild right now. It's really crazy. So,
yeah. So hopefully, okay, so I hijacked yours. What are you most excited about at the end of this?
I do hope that there's some changes. I think that like a lot of stuff we're seeing that we could have always been doing.
Yeah.
Especially
working
telemedicine.
From home.
Right.
Telemedicine.
So we have patients that they don't want to come in. It's a DBH, it's a Department of Behavioral Health office. It is what it is. It's Medicaid patients or uninsured patients. So sometimes there's a wait because the doctor takes her sweet time, and it is. And the patients get tired of waiting and they leave and they don't get their medicine. And we get on this cycle again where they fall off because they haven't been taking their, it's a pain. So now we have these telephonic and video conference visits. So our doctor went from getting 10 patients a day to getting 25 patients a day.
That's amazing.
Because we have the walk-ins, the normal 10 walk-ins, but we're also getting patients calling in and asking for their refills and then just dropping by to get their injection. So I'm hoping that we can keep this going because I feel like we are touching so many more people and we're doing so much more good with these interventions that we should have always been able to access.
Oh, I agree. Working from home, like all these companies that said, you can't work from home. Yeah, they're working from home. Stuff's
right,
happening.
Apparently you can.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things. We can take breaks in the middle of the day. There is just
all
so many
kinds
things.
Of things. And apparently people can do their work without being micromanaged. And that's the other thing that was nice to let corporate know, like, hey, I can we have, community support workers, they're unlicensed. They're, like some of them are 18, 19 years old, but I can say to them, we gave you a laptop, we gave you a phone, you need to be accessible. And they're on it. They're out there doing more work than they were doing when we had them trapped in the office.
Absolutely. So I've always worked better at home than I've ever in an office.
Especially the young ones. I think this is because they're good at it, right? The 20-somethings are really good at manipulating the computers and everything. So they're kicking butt doing their visits and coming up with really creative ideas for how to help their patients from distance. So again, I'll just repeat it again. We could have always been doing this.
Yeah.
We could have always been providing twice as much care.
I just had one with my running coach who is my old my own physical therapist and my new physical therapist for my shoulder. I did 2 tele-appointments with them and it was so cool.
Yeah.
Like for physical therapy to do that. So she was able to teach Colleen I was having my shoulder was locking up. So she was able to, on one of her colleagues, show Colleen how to move my shoulder for me.
See, that's awesome.
You have to let go. Ego has to be let go. I think that is the difference when, sometimes my physical therapists have no ego. I'm just saying, if you're a doctor, sometimes you think that you have all the answers, that no one can do what you do. The fact that Sam was like, no, I can teach Colleen to do what I do. That is a humility that a lot of people don't. I think that's why it's not picked up.
That is very true. Yeah, you have to be willing to say, because I could see how a person would be afraid to say, well, what do they even need the physical therapist for? But of course, you're always going to need physical therapist.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, not even close. And I can't wait to see them in person again because I know I'll feel better. But for right now, if I needed it, this is good enough for right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm doing my mental health therapy appointments by teleconference, just like this. We're doing it by Zoom, which is awesome. I love it. And I go to Kaiser across the street. It's just across the street, but they're doing almost all their visits by teleconference right now, which is great. That's great because I can be anywhere and do my doctor's appointment. I don't have to take the morning off from work and sit in the, wait. Doctor just called me when he's ready.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. This is more accessibility for every patient in America, and we should have always been doing these things because the doctors, you don't need, especially if it's a patient you've been seeing for 5 years, you don't need to see them every month.
No.
You can do a conference.
And I know when I have a sinus infection, and I know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for that part too. I think if we can get over the sadness and the grief that, we're all going to have to work through. Like everyone's in different stages of grief. The whole world is changing at one time, but the other side of it, I think, is going to be brilliant.
It's terrifying. The grief is, they're offering, I get texts and texts and texts every day. I know every nurse is getting them, where we're getting offered $50 to $70 an hour and $5,000 to $10,000 bonuses for a month's worth of work in one of the hot states.
Yeah.
And as a nurse, you feel horrible. Like, part of me is like, man, I wish I was on the front lines still. And then the other part of me is like, I think
girl, you're compromised too, so you can't do that.
But you feel like you want to help.
Yeah. I know.
Your colleagues die, not just get sick and die, and it's rough. It's hard to watch. It's hard. You want to help. And there's just nothing you can do. But yeah, I'll stick with my little clinic.
Yeah, you've got to support those who have never been supported. And more than anything, I mean, I think that's what our friends most look forward to. They have some sense of security that we're going to show up no matter what. Like, they don't have that in their life. And so to have you and your company as a stable thing, and we're all so fucking afraid. I can't imagine anyone who's food insecure, health insecure, health insurance insecure, like those levels of fears that they have. And so we just all need to be there for one another.
And so it's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. That's it. We just all have to look out for each other. I hope people keep remembering that. Just keep looking out for others. You're not going to die of coronavirus. The odds are very, very good that even if you do get it, you'll be symptomatic.
It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. I've decided this.
You'll be in your housing. You'll be miserable, but the odds are 90% that you will be home and uncomfortable. Yeah. But you're not going to die. Yeah. You're not going to be hospitalized. And you're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine.
We all just need to keep saying that and give thanks for our bodies and how well they're going to fight we've not really thought about this. And I didn't, and really until you said it, when I asked what novel was, our bodies have no experience with this. And they are such intricate machines of science and wonder and beauty that they're figuring this shit out, Which
is why there's people walking around that have it, that don't have any symptoms. We actually have asymptomatics walking around. So you see the death tolls, you see the death numbers, but that's not the majority. Yeah. The majority of the people that are getting diagnosed are recovering in the 10 days to 2 weeks, and they're going on about their life like everything's fine. Yeah. It's uncomfortable. The flu is uncomfortable too. What are you going to do?
I've had it one time and I thought, I had to go to the emergency room. I thought I was going to die. However, I didn't. And it was just fine.
Right, because you could die from that too. So but
we could die from anything.
Exactly. And that's the end of the day. So
in the end, we have a lot that could take us, but the good news is we have a lot to live for. Right. At the same time, a lot of things that will keep us alive. A lot of nurses, a lot of doctors, a lot of people working double hard or overtime. I don't even know. I'm so double hard.
I hear you. But I feel like every medical professional right now is like on high alert too. So like when it comes to getting out there, getting this job done, getting these patients treated, doing the best that they can, everybody's doing everything they can, including people like you that are out there taking care of the homeless on the weekends and looking out for people that don't have anybody else looking out for them. So thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It means a lot coming from you.
Nice.
Well, we'll have you back on. I'm sure if this is going on another 30 or 40 days, we'll just keep bringing you on for new updates. I love working with you,
so please just send me a date and tell me what to do, and I'm there.
Perfect. I'll put your information in case anybody has any questions about like edibles and what to make, because you are the queen of how to take something and make it into a million things. And so I think everyone would appreciate that right now, because we
reach out.
Yeah, those, if you consume cannabis, we are all thinking the same thing. Like, if I'm not allowed to leave, what is that math like?
Exactly.
So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today, and we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
See you later. See you next time.
Bye.